And here we go. What's good, everybody? This is Anthony Blake Jr. back with another episode. Flawless Fantasy Football. Waiver Wire Tuesday. It's time to pick up some flawless free agents. I like that. I like that spin. This week here is crazy for running backs, wide receivers, the bye weeks, the injuries. It's off the chain. It'll probably be some situations out there when you're gonna need to pick up somebody and drop someone, but you're not gonna want to drop them. But in fantasy, there's some harsh decisions you got to make, and at the end of the day, you got to just make them. You know, you can't keep/have everybody. You know, I make sure it's certain people I will never draft. You know, so it's yeah, he can blow up, but he won't blow up on my team. You know, just because it's you rather just not deal with it. You know, yeah, as y'all can see, I'm repping my JT shirt again. You know, I ain't want to don it on y'all again so soon, but you know, he forced me back into it with that effort. Forced me into it. I'm kind of worried though because I don't know why he only had 20 carries when they were winning the whole game, but neither here or there. But here we go. Let's gonna go about this a little bit different today. Just go with the flow. You know, try not to make it too long. Try to stay precise and get to the point. All right, let's talk about some injuries first. Notable injuries. Then we'll jump into possible free agents. Flawless free agents. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. It's very admirable what Baker Mayfield is doing. I'm kind of speechless at a loss for words because that guy's playing through shoulder injuries, dislocated shoulder, going in the tent, getting a shot, coming back in. I respect that, and he's expected to play this Thursday night and not miss any time. You know, so and the thing is, he's gonna be without his two lead backs. You know, so they're gonna need him to play. But he'll be playing this Thursday, and I can't wait to watch the game. I'm going to go to my pop's house and watch it, but I'm going to be cheering for him, although I don't have any stock in Baker Mayfield, and nor should you. But, he's winning. He's winning a lot of points with me, especially in his commercials off the chain, too. Anyway, okay, now we're to Dak Prescott. Dallas got a bye this week. He had a calf strain, from that last little overtime little throw. That scripted little throw, wide open like they're playing scrimmage, but we're not going to go there. That's a whole nother can of worms. But he has the bye. He said he would have been able to play if they'd have continued, yada, yada. Not too much on quarterbacks, as far as notable ones anyway. We ought to know about the Russell Wilson situation or anything that I talked about before. It just is what it is. So we'll go to running backs. Okay, with the running backs, it's really maybe 4 teams that we're really looking into. The Cleveland situation, the Seattle situation, the Washington situation, which is a little bit more clear cut, and the Baltimore situation. So first we'll start with Cleveland. Nick Chubb, today he was ruled out for the Thursday night game, so he won't be playing. So that's the thing with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a monster. He's easily top 5, 6, 7 running back. He's a top 3 if he ever stay healthy, but that's just not in the cards for him. He's never going to do that, So he'll be an RB1, but he's going to miss you 3 or 4 games. That's just how it works with him. So he's ruled out for this Thursday night game. Also, Kareem Hunts has been put on IR. He'll probably miss up to 4 through 6, to be honest with you. So he was all crying and. Let's just hope for the best for him. But it seems like he always does well. If Nick Chubb is in there and Nick Chubb's just toting and doing all the dirty work, then he come in and get the little passing work and, after everybody's tired and stuff and get in and get the touchdowns. But when it's always on him as the lead dog in Cleveland, always underwhelming. Always underwhelming. So, yeah, hopefully he gets back quick, So that's that. We'll get into the Cleveland situation as far as pickups later. Alex Collins, he had a hip and glute injury. He ran for 101 on Pittsburgh and a touchdown. Dude had a monster game. And Pete Carroll says that he has a shot to play on Monday versus the Saints. But if you're going to play him like I played him alongside this guy here this past week, and yes, I won in my league of record, it's like you're going to have to pivot. So you're going to have Homer or DJ Dallas or Rashad Penny or something. I'll tell you, I'm not going to play with that. I'm not going to play that game. I'll just play somebody else that's on my bench as my RB2. So hopefully Alex Collins plays, though, because Seattle needs him, and they don't want to rely on that quarterback. My goodness. And Antonio Gibson, love Antonio Gibson, but he's glass as hell, too. A lot of these dudes just like nerds in football pads, I swear, man. Just look at his face. Look at freaking all these guys look like nerds and shit. But I like Antonio Gibson, but there's a chance he'll miss this game, most likely, because he'll need to rest because of that shin and everything, and then play against the Packers. He underwent an MRI, don't have the results yet. With his calf / shin or whatever, he came in, he left the game, came back in, got hit, fumbled, and then didn't come back in. So it is what it is. Hopefully, he just need to take the week off. I got him. I have stock in him in the league, so I'd rather wait till he get back, fully healthy, and we'll go from there. But Antonio Gibson, he's injured, so it'll probably be more juice for McKissick. And the Baltimore situation over there at the Ravens, Latavius Murray left the game, and all three of those running backs had touchdowns. Latavius Murray, Devonta Freeman, and Lev Bell. So if Latavius Murray end up missing time, and which is a possibility, you have to see how it goes, see if he practiced today. Devonta Freeman probably will get the lead. I'm pretty sure he'll get the lead back duties, and Le'Veon Bell would come in after him. And they'll probably inactivate that the rookie again too. So it just is what it is. Some of these coaches, man, they just love the veteran guys. It's just that simple. So it is what it is with that. So let's move on. All right, wide receivers. Cavarius Tony, his ankle injury, he left the game early. Early he left the game. I felt sorry for anybody that played him. The injuries could be a little serious, they say. Could be serious. He's expected to definitely miss one game. So we'll hope the best for that. But he has a very promising future. And I believe definitely next year he should be the number one for that team. T.Y. Hilton, he had a quad injury. He left the game. He was getting targeted. Like I mentioned on one video last week, they call him like T.Y. Houston or something like that because he always eating up on Houston. He had 80 yards receiving, but he probably would have had a 100-yard day, but he had left early. But the game was out of hand, so they just let him ride. He's questionable. He should be able to play. So that's a plus for the offense for the Colts. Jerry Jeudy, he's they say he have less than a 50% chance to play this week, so he's still probably a week or two away. Plus with Sutton and the other cat over there, they're doing a decent job. So anybody that has Jeudy, I wouldn't rush him to put him in the lineup once he gets in anyway. Michael Thomas is eligible to return this week, but it's reported that he still has he's like a couple weeks away. I didn't advocate at all for people to draft Michael Thomas because look, here it is, week 6, and you're still holding on to him. It's like, what's the point? You're still holding on to him, and like you say, 6 weeks has already passed, and they're saying like he's like 2 to 3 more weeks out still. And you know how it is when these guys they haven't been playing. So if he comes back, they're not gonna mold the defense around him. They're not gonna do that, not at all. And he's not in football shape. Plus, I don't believe his mental is there, And if he come out, he's gonna be like a Richard Sherman, and pull a hammy or something. Then he's gonna be out again. If anybody listening to this have any shares of Michael Thomas, try to sell it. I don't care. Try to get a strong wide receiver too, mid-range wide receiver too. Come up off that, okay? And Paris Campbell, he's on IR because of his foot. It's unfortunate for him. but that bodes well for other people that have receiving options in the Colts game, in the Colts receiving game, as if I do, because I have Michael Pittman in my second league and I need him to get more work. So he'll be on IR for a little while, Paris Campbell, so we wish to get him back soon. And to the tight ends, man, not much going on here as far as injury-wise. The most notable thing here is the number 3 tight end coming into the week, Dawson Knox, my boy, because I have him in my league of record because I actually benched Higbee. I had him benched for some weeks, though. Knox been tearing it up, but he had a broken bone in his hand, so it happened late in the game. And actually, y'all saw when he threw the touchdown pass on that reverse and on that 2-point conversion. I saw him shaking his hand before then, like before it happened, and he still threw it. That's why it was almost like a shot put when he threw it, and he was pretty good. But that just goes to show you what type of dude he is. You know what I'm saying? He could throw a 2-point conversion with a broken hand. I also like the way they tried to run that sweep for him too to get him a touchdown, but it was a hole. And that's because it was his birthday or something like that too. It was some type of special day or something. So they tried to make it work, but they still got him a little something. But Buffalo's on the bye this week, so he won't miss that much time. But I'm assuming he'll miss. Obviously, he won't play this week, but he won't probably play the next week. So he probably just missed one game. All depends, but 2 at the most, and he should heal up fine. Probably a little fracture. Okay, now we're going to discuss quarterbacks. Free agents, the flawless free agents. In the particular order in which I see fit, you can see it. So you can see it different, but I'm gonna do probably about 4 or 5 per position. And if they're out there, and if you need them, you can take that advice for what it's worth. But we're gonna go over quarterbacks. All right, first we have Tua Tagovailoa. Yes, Tua. I never thought I would have him on my list, but guess what? The guy's back. He had 27.6 points last week, and this week he plays at home against the Falcons. Last week he had 33. He went 33 for 47 and had 2 TDs and had 27.5 fantasy points. So that's saying something. The defense is pretty much trash, and they're playing against Atlanta. So I think Tua, can actually put up another good game. Possibly might even get into the 30s. I have Tua I have Josh Allen in my second league, and I only had one quarterback, but Josh is on the bye, so I am actively aiming for Tua this week in the first round of waivers. So Tua is a good pickup for this week. If I use my color code, I'd give Tua a green. Y'all miss those colors, don't you, boy? Hit y'all with those colors real quick. All right, number 2 is Matt Ryan. He might be somebody's QB2 on their team already. That's very possible. But if not, he could easily be on the waivers as well. But he's a great play, especially with all these teams that have bye weeks, good teams that have bye weeks plus the injuries. And they play at Miami. That could easily be a shootout back and forth. Both those teams don't have any defense. Both those quarterbacks can easily throw for upper 20 and 30 points for their fantasy respective teams in fantasy. And you have Carson Wentz here. Carson Wentz is a safe play. He's not gonna goose you. He's not gonna give you a teen. I don't think he'll give you a teen. I think he'll definitely give you 20, possibly 25. I hope he don't do that well, because that means he's trying to throw too much when he has a young bull in Jonathan Taylor he need to be handing the ball to. Or he can throw it to Jonathan Taylor. Okay, that's enough about me. All right, so Carson Wentz, he's definitely in play as well. Number 4 is Jameis Winston. I know. Why does Flawless have Jameis Winston up there? You know what? They play against Seattle Monday night. He has Kamara he can throw the ball to. He's shown the ability to throw deep. The defense is going to serve him well Monday night. Jameis can easily throw for definitely 2, probably 3 touchdowns, and probably get some running there too. I can see a peak game out of him this week. Jameis Winston, he's definitely on waivers. You should be able to get one of these 4 guys if you have a quarterback and you need to get a quarterback and get him on waivers. Those are your quarterbacks. Those are the flawless quarterbacks, free agent quarterbacks for this week's Week 7 waivers. All right, here are your running backs. Week 7 running backs. I have 1 through 5 here. I have starting with Cleveland. You got Ernest Johnson because of 2 lead backs, because both of them are out. You got Ernest Johnson and Demetric Felton. Decide on which one you think. The lead back should be Johnson, but Felton's going to get work too. At least Johnson had to work last year. So it's up to you. They play. I really can't vouch for either one of these guys. Unless you got to be very desperate to go. Unless you're a freaking owner of one of the previous Hunt or Chubb, I wouldn't entertain any of these guys. I'd go elsewhere. But Ernest Johnson should get the lead back duties, and Felton should be getting worked in. A lot of people will be going for him right away, but it's pretty short term. I believe they're just not having Chubb play this week just to make sure he's healthy. So Ernest Johnson / Demetric Felton are number 1. 1A, 1B. J.D. Mckissick. Really, if you ask me, he should be number 1. But I didn't put him number 1 because most likely he's already rostered. So J.D. Mckissick, if he's out there and needs to get picked up, he'll get the rushing load. Not as much though, because they will have someone else in there rushing. But they're playing against the Packers, so he's going to get a lot of time in there and going to get a lot of reception. He'll be a great play this week. So if you already have him on your roster, get him in there as a flex automatically. Devonta Freeman, Lev Bell at number 3. We got to see what happens with Latavius Murray. If he misses time, he walked off pretty gingerly. And if he misses time, I believe Devonta Freeman will be lead back, and Lev Bell will back him up and come in there and try to get another cheesy touchdown. But Devonta Freeman has the first crack at it. Number 4 is Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, and Rashard Penny is coming off the IR. He's being activated. Look, I have Carson in a couple leagues. Actually, I believe I had him in all 3. And I actually picked up. It's tough. I just wouldn't touch either one of these guys. I just really wouldn't touch either one of these guys, really, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I wouldn't deal with either one of these guys, especially play on Monday night. Homer, DJ Dallas, or Penny. I have Alex Collins, and I picked him up where I could and got a productive game out of him. Great, but I won't wait around for him. I'll see how the practice goes. If he practices in full Thursday and Friday, I'll play him. But if not, if he's limited in any sort of fashion and acting like that, I'll just play somebody else. Heck, I'm willing to play anybody over him. I'll play freaking the backup to Green Bay. I'll play him over playing Homer, Dallas, or Penny. So I just wouldn't play this game. Unless you just have to. Unless you're in a super deep league. I mean 14, 16, but I doubt that's the case for a lot of people that's listening. Number 5, Ramondre Stevenson. Look, he's the number 2 here. He's got back into the good graces of the coaching staff and Belichick playing around and quick to punish someone. He got in for a touchdown. They actually been throwing the ball to him, and he actually can catch the ball better than the starter there. So Ramondre Stevenson, if anything happened to the starter there, he has freaking low-end RB1 potential. So Ramondre Stevenson, number 5. But, something has to happen first, though. But he's a solid pickup. Those are my Week 7 running backs for waivers. Flawless free agents. All right, here come my Week 7. Here we go. Let me fix that. Wide receivers. Try to be too slick for y'all real quick. All right. First, look, everybody see right up here, I have Donovan Peoples-Jones up here. This might actually be a thing right here. This might actually be a thing. You can capitalize on this because I don't think many people actually believe in him. But for Cleveland, he was explosive too. So keep an eye on him. Look at his production. Look at his targets. I think he can be something. And if it was anybody that I would trust on that team, if I needed a wide receiver with big play potential, it'll be him. Now, a lot of these cats may not even be free agents. Mooney might not be a free agent. Somebody may be holding on to him. Bateman might be still out there. He doesn't have too much of a big ceiling because a high ceiling because of the other options there and the red zone options and Lamar running and T.Y. Hilton and Christian Kirk. And, it's like T.Y. Hilton just getting back. He should be okay, so he'll be a safe play as a wide receiver 3 on somebody's team, but don't expect too much. And Christian Kirk's always kind of hit or miss, and plus they spread the ball around there so much. So those are my Week 7 wide receivers for the waivers. Okay, here are my Week 7 tight ends. All right, most people probably already had Ricoc Jones from last week. He showed up. He delivered. 4 for 58 and a touchdown. He did right by people. So he may not be a free agent, but check around. You never know. People might have been out there sleeping. Zach Ertz, he's possibly rostered. I just believe they showcase him. They've been trying to showcase him to get him out of there. He went 4 for 29 and a touch on 6 targets. He has the Texans this week, so they might try to get him a little bit of juice. They like to spread it around there. So Ricoc Jones plays against the Packers. They'll need to throw against the Packers, and Ertz plays against the Texans. Here you got big Mo Alley Cox for the Colts. He only had 1 catch, 1 for 28 and a touch. He did have 3 targets. They played my Niners this week, and he's a big target, and it seemed like he's getting all the valuable tight end production. So that's saying something. So he can be a shot in the dark if you actually need him, and that actually can give you upside because it's pretty explosive. He got the ball in his hands. And number 4 is C.J. Usama. He had a quiet game the week before this past game. Last week he had a quiet game after the blow-up game against Jacksonville. He had a quiet game, but he came back with a 3 for 15 line. It wasn't much. He caught all 3 of his targets, though, and he had a touchdown. So he went 3 for 15 and a touch. So, yeah, those are my Week 7 tight ends for waivers. Some flawless free agents. Need a tight end? Bite on one of them. They'll do you good. Okay, and here go my Week 7 defenses. Mind you, some of these teams may be rostered already, but you never know based on your league and who had to drop what, who had to pick up what. Scour the waiver and see if they're the free agent list and see if they're out there. Cards, they're at the Texans. If they are out there, and I know a league in which I have that I'm in, the cards are available. I'm sure they'll get picked up in a hurry. I mean, I don't require them because I already have 2 defenses on that particular team, on that team. So, but yeah, cards are a great play. That's why I list these, because you never know what league you're playing in. Different leagues, someone can be available. Some teams, some players can be available in some, and then some are not in other. So chances are these players aren't always 100% rostered unless they're first, second, third round players. So Cards versus Tex at Texans. So, I'm sorry, it's actually they're at home. They're not against they're at home. I'm sorry, they're not at the Texans. So let's just make that an at. We're going to take that at off of there. So, Cards versus Texans. They're at home. Don't take away that advantage as if they wouldn't do the same thing if they was at Texans, but nevertheless. Saints versus the Seahawks. That's Monday night. Pats versus the Jets. Packers versus Washington. All these should be prime, solid matchups. And even Panthers, they haven't been playing well as of late at the Giants. So those are my Week 7 defenses. Cards, Saints, Pats, Packers, and Panthers. Those are some flawless free agent defenses you can pick up. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if this is your first time. Join the family, join the movement. Again, like I always say, at Flawless Fantasy Football, you are going to hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. All right? So join the movement, hit the comments, let me know what you think. Let me know who you got, let me know who's out there. And drop any type of questions you had, any type of start sit, drop them in the most recent video. I'll get back. I check it multiple times per day. Let's keep collecting these W's. Let's not get discouraged by losses. And our objective is to make it to the playoffs and wreak havoc when we get there. This is Anthony Blake Jr., Flawless Fantasy Football, signing off. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Let's go get it, baby.